Today's episode is sponsored by Talkspace.
We got ads, nigga!
The online therapy company that enables you to improve your mental health from anywhere at any time. And y'all know I'm actually about to take them up on this offer because I need to restore my mental health dealing with the bitch that's sitting across
you got
from
problems,
me.
and you need nobody to judge you in your face.
Whatever.
So maybe you need to use Talkspace.
See what I'm talking about? Get matched with a licensed therapist from over 2,000 choices and message them with whatever you need because y'all know I be stressed. No commutes and no judgments. For a special offer for our listeners, visit Talkspace.com/decisions. I'm going to spell that for you. It's DECISIONS. And use the code DECISIONS to get $45 off your first month and show your support for the show. Talkspace. It's therapy for how we live today.
Yeah, ho!
And guys, we are here. We're back in the studio. We are back to kind of like our normal thing we've been doing. This is another episode. Welcome to Whoreible Decisions. I'm your girl, Mandy B.
And I'm Wheezy.
And we are here joined in the studio today with a lovely guest that was sent to us by one of our lovely, lovely, lovely listeners. Do you want to tell our listeners your name?
Hi, I'm Daniel Saynt, Chief Conspirator of NSFW.
Yes. And he's
it's all feeling dirty already.
And he's so amazing that we kind of don't want to introduce him just yet. So we're going to get into the show. And we're going to come back and we're going to let our listeners know why the hell you up here with two hoes. So...
Well, I'm sure he know them all. So we're going to get started with a kink of the week, which is inspired by something I saw on your Instagram page, which is rubber fetishism or latex fetishism. It's the attraction to people wearing latex clothing in certain cases, PVC. It's when you see those shiny clothes, all black, that plastic-looking polyvinyl material made of rubber or generally thicker. If it's rubber, it's like less shiny, more matte than latex, but the reason people like it, the motives I've read about, is because it feels like a second skin.
Okay.
Kind of gives you another identity, and it feels like bondage.
This sounds like some shit that probably wouldn't fit me, which is probably why I ain't never looked into no goddamn latex. It's like a one-size-fits-all type of thing, right?
I know
it is.
It stretches.
It does stretch?
It has, I mean, it's not that much stretch.
It's not that much stretch.
Yeah,
and
most of
thick
it's custom.
bitches need stretch. That's why my ass be wearing leggings.
Before we started recording, we were actually talking about Real Sex on HBO, and that was the first time as a teenager I had ever seen like the gas masks.
Yeah.
And I know that people like them because it shortens your breath, so you have more intense
You
orgasms.
love talking about short breath, like choking and almost dying.
I'm
Ain't
wheezy
nobody
as
got
shit.
time
What you
for
mean?
that.
I have short breath constantly. Yo, can you explain a little bit about like I saw it on your page. So when people are wearing it, like, is this normally like their look? Is this like their alter ego?
I think the whole second skin thing is really what touches a lot of people for it. It really requires a lot to get into. Like you're literally lotioning it up and kind of get it on. And then you kind of treat the leather or the latex itself with like a dust or something just to like kind of have that feel. And then when you put
with a what?
Like you just have the feel of like the
like
of the latex.
Okay.
Like there's like it's like a polish almost that you have to put onto it so that it doesn't rip or anything else like that.
Okay.
Now, are they having sex with the latex on, or is it just the look of the latex? Like,
I mean, it
how does
depends
that
on
work?
like the latex piece that the person's wearing. I think a lot of it is for the look. I think Kim Kardashian like wore a latex dress and everyone kind of started freaking out about
I remember
it.
that, the beige one.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So like I think it's the look is definitely one part of it, but
I
the
don't see
feel
many
on
of
your
them with
skin.
holes.
It's like the skin
That's
when
what
you
I-
feel
The tits
skin.
are out.
Yeah.
But I mean, just imagine if you want to fuck and you're like, damn, yo,
like
you know
It's
what?
a lot. It's a
Taking it
process.
off
It's a
is
process to
probably
take it
like
off.
by that time.
And they're expensive too, so you
Yeah,
don't
they
want to
are.
break it. And
Hold
then
on,
you have to do it
pleasure
really
chest, I
delicate.
love
It's
it.
not like a rip off the clothes type of situation.
Can you explain what like things that go with, like I just brought up gas masks. Like, so explain maybe like hoods and gas masks. We never really talk about that.
You do want to talk about choking.
Hello. She's like, tell me when I can't breathe. Can we just talk about that?
It's like, did you have asthma as a child?
I mean, you know what it is?
And did
I'm a
that turn
suck.
you on?
Yeah, and I tap out during sex. I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to give you the signal. If I get a little blue, let go.
Yep, that's how I am with riding dick. A bitch be out of breath. I can't breathe.
Same.
Gas masks and hoods, yes.
So does this also tie to, I guess I would look at it as the dominatrix attire? So is a woman necessarily
Well, some of
dominatrix
them
when
can
she
be
wears
subs,
latex?
right?
Or
So
can you be a
who's the
sub?
latex
I
for?
mean, it could be a latex sub, a latex dom.
Okay.
There's this great company called Brooklyn Latex that does custom pieces. A lot of people can get them as custom. It's just a part of the fetish. I think it's just it feels good on the skin once it's on, and it's like that kind of pressure and that feeling of just like everything kind of being in place.
Yeah.
Like if sexy Spanx.
I had a latex suit for Halloween. You remember I was a dom.
Yeah,
and,
you were a dom.
I remember like getting really turned on wearing it.
Yeah.
Like, because I can feel it when I'm moving, and it feels very restricting. Except when I had to pee. That was like fuck.
Alex over there, like you got a latex experience, Alex.
Yeah.
What?
So I can't talk about the time, but
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
no. I can
I'm
talk about
working
it.
on myself.
Yeah, I am working on myself. So I was with a chick, and she said, "Oh, let me go change into something." She takes a bit longer than usual.
You thought she took a shit?
So then she comes out with these black leather spandex boy shorts.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, that shit looks dope. And then, like, I see and I start to feel it, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, how are we gonna fuck? And she's like, yo, just stretch it to the side. And I was like, wow.
Wow, that's
Amazing.
hot.
But it has, like...
But it was only the shorts?
Yeah,
It
was
took her
short.
that long just to put on some shorts?
No, she had a top situation, and then, like,
Oh.
it was, like, a leash, a bunch of shit.
Alicia?
Yeah.
What color
huh?
was she?
Why you gotta...
Because I just want to start shouting out the black girls that are into BDSM, but
Look, he's shaking
She's
his
shaking
head.
his
Like, nope.
SMH, bitch. Fucking next.
I love
Yo,
my
want
black
none of
women,
our
though.
listeners to know you're on the white
I
side.
love my black women.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to get into vanilla shit. As you guys know, we introduced vanilla shit back into the show. This is where we pick an article about a current event topic that has to do with sex. And of course, that's why we have our guest today. So our vanilla shit this week is from a Daily Mail article that I read that talked about NSFW and our guest, Daniel Saynt.
Because I
Go
love this
ahead.
fucking headline.
Read the headline.
I'm getting warm.
Inside,
Oh, it's going to get hot in here, honey.
inside the Soho House of Sex Clubs, how a former Jehovah's Witness is running an exclusive New York swingers party that is only open to hot millennials with a social media presence.
Okay.
I did
you
not
side-
write that.
So-
of course
I did
not.
not
I was
write
gonna
that.
say,
It's
I already
very-
liked you when you came in. I was like,
It's
you
very
feel-
like yeah.
Okay, so you don't agree with the title. The
No,
article
I mean,
was
it's,
amazing.
It's accurate, but it's just like
Okay.
I didn't write the title.
Okay, so everything in the article, however,
Let's go ahead
and
no,
talk on the
I want to
talking
cut
points.
you off for a second. Soho House. I want to talk about what Soho House is. We got a lot of listeners that may not know. Soho House is a members-only club that is known for. It's only creatives are allowed, no suits and ties. If you see me thotting it up on Instagram, some of the pictures in the summertime be from there. But it's very expensive. It's $4,000 a year, right? You're going to see... I actually told Mandy when she walked in here, the only black people that I saw in Soho House last time I went to the Meatpack Condition was D. Ray McKinnison, Trevor Noah, and a random other black dude.
And we were talking, and it's funny. I've been to the Soho House in Chicago and the one here. The one here, I went with Neo. Neo's a member. And then when I was in the one in Chicago, I saw Sean Marion, who's an NBA player. But like you said, there's not really many blacks.
I mean, there's
that
some
go.
like people of color there. I noticed they're opening it up, but I see more like Indians. Like it's like a different thing. But I mean, it's supposed to be an extension of your home.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's very, very expensive, and they're all super luxe. I've been to like the Miami one. I've been to one in Berlin, and in New York, the two in New York, and they are everybody's hot when you go in there.
Yes.
So when I read that article, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, ooh, this could be bougie, but also I want to go.
Well, it's also funny that you said that everyone's hot because I read the article. And so this is a sex club like not many others, I would say. We talk to our listeners a lot about going to a sex club, letting them know the high fees of getting in. But with this one specifically, I read that 9,000 people have been rejected already.
Yeah.
And that's because you do require them to submit pictures and you kind of want a good-looking crowd. Can you explain to our listeners how you could be
selection
Yeah,
process
what is the
Yeah, I
selection
mean,
process for that?
Right now, we have a council of members who go through and review all the people who join. We're trying to get to 1,000 members.
How many do you have?
We're at 850 and had about...
Wow. Almost
Okay,
there.
151.
Hello.
and we had like about 500 people who applied over the past like 3 days just from all the
From the-
coverage. and
Oh,
stuff like
wow.
that. And then once we get to 1,000 members will be the ones who get to choose who's invited, and each member will get 10
Right. A
passes
lot of sex clubs are like that.
every year.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're kind of going more that route, and then if we like see someone who like makes sense for it, we'll outreach, we'll connect with them, and see if they're interested.
Now, how is this legal? I think a lot of people have that question.
Oh,
Yeah.
good question.
So a lot of things to consider with that. Obviously, the government's not trying to force you, be in your bedroom and tell you what you can do in your bedroom.
Right.
A lot of the events that we do are more focused on education.
Well, what's it stand for again? Can you tell us?
It stands for the New Society for Wellness.
Okay.
I was like, not safe for work.
Yeah. So yeah, and I mean, Not Safe for Work works as well. And
Yeah,
like, if you
great.
search for Not Safe for Work or NSFW, you'll find us now.
Right.
Okay.
Which is awesome because we just beat Vice on that. But no, the experience is very unique. Like, I think a lot of sex clubs, there is this expectation to play, and there's this expectation that you get there and you have to like screw, or you go there and you don't know anyone who's there. You really are kind of going into a room where you're around strangers, or you're going into like a kink BDSM basement.
That's why you said the Soho House, because everybody in Soho House knows each other. And if you walk in and they've never seen you, it's always like, hey, I'm Brian.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Okay.
So that's a big element of it. And also, like, it's just much prettier. Like, the space itself that we host these things, it's really set up to be loungy and feel comfortable and feel like you're just, chilling at Soho House in a sense. But you can also fuck there.
And that's good, because it's crazy, because I've looked at a couple of the other sex clubs that are in New York. I'll say like one of the oldest ones, Bowery Bliss. And when you look at the reviews, they all say it's not
dirty.
Anything to look. They say
So,
it's
but
dirty.
I'm going to be honest with you, though.
So
I
like
think
to
that
know
has
that
to
it's a
do
good-
with price. Remember Le Trapeze was like 40 or 50
Trapeze,
bucks?
yeah.
Like, I'm not slanging this pussy nowhere where it's not a little bit expensive. If I'm laying my ass on some plastic sheets,
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
I want it to feel a little bit clean. And I feel like if you hike up the price a little bit, it makes you feel more comfortable about being somewhere where you're vulnerable.
Sex juice.
Sex juice is sex
I
juice,
mean,
but
whether it's in a nice room or it's
I'm
not.
gonna disagree with you.
I mean,
Would you go to,
I mean-
would you fuck at a broke nigga's house
I mean,
that had a mattress on the floor?
Have we not before? And, we have.
Okay, well, bitch, I'm too old to slang this
As
shit
of
to a
right
fucking
now,
mattress
no.
on the floor now.
I mean, right now I require the sheets to match. So no, like,
Okay.
I need the pillowcase.
That's a step up.
That's a step
But
up.
no, there are a lot of sex parties that are mattress on the floor type vibes.
Yeah.
Okay,
there
yeah.
are. And there's parties where, again, it's like the age is all over the place. So,
Yes.
you're there, they allow single men in. There's, some 65-year-old dude jerking off in the corner while you're trying
Right.
to play. And like, you're younger or you're new to the scene and it feels uncomfortable. And I think, I kind of went to a lot of play parties, when I was, in New York being young, and just going to the gay ones, going to the straight ones, just seeing what was out there. And there wasn't anything good. Like, there wasn't anything where, like, I would feel like I'd want to necessarily go again. It was always these one-time deals of just checking it out. And I
Right.
think after a while, I realized that, there's this growing audience of people who want to have a little bit more, interesting sex lives.
How do
They
your
wanna learn
members
about sex.
connect outside of sex? Do you use a forum? Do you have, like, is it
Good
a
question.
group email?
Yeah.
Like,
So there's a private network that they join. You can see profiles of other members, connect to them.
so you can make dates.
Yeah.
you-
It's more of a dating site, honestly.
Is it like? Are you familiar with My Wild Lifestyle?
Yeah.
Okay, so is it a similar platform
Similar
to that?
to that.
So is
yeah.
it like Raya for fucking?
It's like Raya for fucking, basically.
Okay.
And what is the name of this? What is the name of this? Because a lot of our listeners
It's
want to know.
NSFW. It's like it's
And
on
so
the
it's
site.
He's
NSFW.
just saying
join.
that
Okay.
they have their own, like,
Yeah.
membership access allows you.
So you join, you build a profile, you can connect to other members, you can see other members' profiles. We're building a mobile app right now
Okay.
that will allow members to connect and see, notifications as to like when events are happening, who's local, who's nearby, and make it easy for them to invite other people.
Now, your price for $96 just to join is very low, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Um,
I saw that too.
Why did you choose to pick something so? I mean, $150. I see it to a 10, but like, why did you choose that price point?
So the low price was really important for us. I think when you look at exclusive sex clubs, they normally have a very heavy price.
Very high.
What
yeah.
ends up happening is that you have a lot of men who are paying to be there and a lot of women who don't pay to be there,
Yes, that's
which
true.
causes a dynamic that is unsafe for women and
Come
kind
on,
of makes them
equality.
into a more of a commodity versus an equal partner of
Got
someone
it.
who's trying to experience this. So that was important for us. And if we had, that heavy ticket price, like if a member doesn't follow the code of conduct, if a member doesn't behave in the space, like there's so much more that you have to deal with of like, oh, I paid $2,000 to be
much.
here.
Yes.
Like, fuck you. But $96 is like, peace out, goodbye. So we're
Right.
really, really able to get people out quickly who don't make sense for the group. We send out a creeper report after every single event so people can report anyone they felt uncomfortable
Wait,
about.
seriously?
That is an amazing.
That's
I was just going to ask
awesome.
you.
I really like
how
that.
you get into. How do you make your guests safe?
Yeah, so we have a code of conduct which we practice before every event or before any workshop or anything sort of educational thing. The code of conduct is reiterated so they know. We practice enthusiastic consent, which is asking for an enthusiastic guest before initiating any sort of touch.
And is it really? So when I look up a lot of sex clubs and I look at their rules, the number one thing that they have is no means no, and to always ask. So is that something that's
we don't
also
practice no means no. We practice yes means yes. Like that's the only way to do it. So if it's not hell yes, it's a hell no.
Right.
Oh, I like
I've had
that.
someone ask at a sex party. The only one I've been to was chemistry. And I remember a woman asked me if she could touch my shoulder, and I was like, I kind of shrugged my shoulders like, yeah, okay, whatever. But then I was like, well, what if I wasn't into her? I'd be like, no, this is creepy.
Yeah, the sex club I went to, I had so much Don Julio. I think I just didn't care who I was into.
Also, we don't really we encourage members not to drink, not to do drugs.
Wow, really?
I was going to ask that too.
Yeah,
I had
that's
gotten
a good
that
question.
same kind of email.
We're
like,
very conscious of
your decisions.
Yeah, your decisions are very conscious. It's really like a community in a lot of ways. And like now that members have been coming for 3 years, like they know.
They don't need to be
So
fucked
it's not a BYOB.
Exactly, and they don't need to be fucked up.
Do you have bartenders
it is,
or BYOB?
but like again, most of the time, like if you get too intoxicated and we have to ask you to leave, you're kicked out of the membership. So like, people keep themselves in check. And rule number 2 is hydrate. So
of course,
yeah. Now. I do want
alcohol
to...
and for squirting.
For squirting. I was about to say, yeah, I like to be hydrated too.
Alcohol and
get all my
juices
going. What are the hours? Like, how long does these parties go? Like...
So it all depends. Like, normally they start around 10 and will go until 6 a.m. A lot of times, some people stay a little bit longer and we get them breakfast in the morning, stuff like that. It's been really close and communal. As we're building some of the bigger events, which are more like sexy parties, like there's a lot of sexy stuff happening, but maybe there's no on-site play. Like for those events, they usually go to 4.
And what about the number of guests? You said when we do play dates. How often do you have play dates?
So play dates happen every 3 months. So 2 to 3 months.
Really?
Yeah, we're actually going to be making them monthly soon. They sell out pretty quick.
That's often.
Yeah,
that's very
but
often.
We actually do events every week. So we host 1 to 2 events per week.
Okay, that's cool. I saw that.
Yeah,
okay, so
and those events are more classes and workshops.
So I had a question, and this is just based on our experiences both going to sex clubs. She did go to chemistry. I went to Caligula, which happened to be like an all-black swingers club, ironically. Hers, I think you said you saw very few black people.
No, I didn't say that. It was in Brooklyn. It was pretty mixed.
What is the inclusion with NSFW?
We keep it pretty mixed. I mean, we have members who are Muslim, who are Jewish, who
are
everything in terms of like religious things, which is really great. Once a year, I do a birthday party where everyone dresses religiously, so it's really fun to watch.
I fucking love that.
Rabbis talking with nuns and stuff.
That's so funny.
It's a lot of fun. But it's pretty diverse. Like I'm Puerto Rican. I'm from the Bronx.
Come
on, Jenny from the block.
BX.
Jenny, if you're listening. I think we want to keep it diverse. I think I'm actually really excited to be on here because like we want to get in front of more people of color and like have them apply.
I think that's awesome.
Because like that, one of our members came. She was a black woman, and she was like, "I really loved it. Great experience. Like, if there any way you can have like more people of color," and we're like, "Yeah." She came to a smaller event. It was like 20 people, but for the bigger ones, it's mixed, and there's like a great crowd of people. And I think like it's important as we grow. Before we block it off, we really want to make sure we have enough diversity within it.
Right.
But we have Asian members, Black, Hispanic.
That's
like
great.
everything.
I mean, because look, niggas like to fuck.
They do. Hello, but not only that.
That's why we got all these listeners. But seriously though, they don't find out about these events, bro. Like
no, but you're a POC like us. Well, we WOC, but POC too. Whatever. We of color over here, and so a lot of our listeners who are interested in this. So one thing that we preach on this show a lot is communication. So how do you introduce that you're interested or curious about going to a sex club to your partner or to your friends, and how do you make that a topic of conversation? Because I think that's the thing. A lot of people are kind of maybe ashamed or too scared to say, hey, I want to go have sex in front of a lot of strangers, or I want to go to a sex club.
And so how do you in front of a lot of strangers? So I want to ask you that too. Do you have doors that you can close, or is it all open?
So the clubhouse, we have like different spaces. There's 2 floors. You can kind of like find places to be. Most people feel comfortable doing stuff in front of people. It's really kind of to your level of comfort. I would say what's good about NSFW and what makes us stand apart is that we do events that are education focused. So it's less about let's go to a sex club, which everyone calls a sex club and it's like great, but like there's so much that we do that we're just like, that's like
especially if you're only fucking 3 times out of the month.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, 3 times, like every 3 months you said, like it's not
Well, he has weekly events.
No, we do weekly.
Right, but it's not on-site play, you were saying, right?
Yeah, those are.
Oh,
yeah.
So, play date.
Play date is just one event that we do.
Got you.
But we also do an event called Danquet, which is a cannabis supper series. We work with different chefs in the city to create these.
Oh, that's great. Like that Chelsea.
I want to revisit, though.
But back to what you were talking about.
Yes, I want to revisit how
do you bring that conversation up?
Yes.
You know, with us, it's great because you can find a specific class and you'll just be like, I'm really curious about, tantric touch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're kind of introducing it. And yes, you're coming to NSFW, which is known as a sex club, but you're introducing it and you're kind of getting comfortable. And it's a classroom format. You kind of mix and mingle with other people beforehand. A lot of people just wear lingerie and just feel kind of comfortable being sexy.
Okay.
You go into the class, there's a full demonstration. You're encouraged to participate with your partner. And it becomes a lot easier to kind of like go into the next thing, which becomes like play.
Do you allow members that don't play in front of others?
Yeah, of course.
Great.
Yeah. There's
when I was at chemistry, I didn't have sex. I mean, it was touching and things like that, but it was my first time, and I was kind of just getting used to the space.
Yeah.
And I was with a really hot guy, and it was like new meat. Everybody was looking. But I remember when I left, this guy kind of got an attitude because we were talking to him and his wife for a while, and he was just like, well, I mean, I don't know why you guys came here. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's attitudes like that made us create this, and made me want to create this. We want to be everyone's first sex club. We want to be the first thing they experience, just because if you go to the wrong one, you might be sexually curious. You might be interested in having like more of an interesting life and living a little bit more adventurously, but you're going to pull back because you're going to experience something that was negative, like you did. You went to chemistry once. If you had an amazing experience there, like, I'm sure you would have tried going again.
Like, the people I was surprised were attractive enough. Like you said, there was a lot of older, kind of creepy dudes. But they were attractive enough. I didn't really see anyone that wasn't. I would say not
chemistry
ugly.
Does a good job as
they
well.
They do. They vetted people pretty well. But I mean, as far as looks went, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I had a great time at Caligula as well. It was a Halloween themed party though, so it was a little. Everyone was in their costumes. It was a lot of fun. Ironically though, before me and my friend went, like I had kind of just mentioned it to a couple of the guys that I talked to, and ironically, for the women who are interested in going, I think you'd be surprised how many men of color would be interested in going to these sex clubs. It was
something
something
that accompanied by a woman at yours as well.
At yours, yeah.
So certain events you can come solo.
Okay.
Oh wow.
We limit the amount of tickets that are sold for solo. Majority of our audience, and the bulk of our membership is female. We're about 65% female.
Really?
Oh wow.
So how do you because you're bi, we were reading about that. So how do you do that but also encourage LGBT members? Like, is it how does that work?
Do you encourage those?
It's a really fluid group of people, honestly. Like, I think
most sex parties are.
Yeah, I mean, most sex parties are, and there is that opportunity to explore. I think with Backpage being shut down, Craigslist being shut down,
all
these
shut down.
ways
They all
they
like
people
get them
who
out of
were
here.
exploring. Like when I was exploring and kind of trying to figure out my bisexuality, it was like, well, I want to check out this stuff and do it anonymously and do it safe. That doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
and the play parties and the sex clubs are going to grow a lot more. Like you're going to hear not just us, but like it's really like a rising tide of things happening. And I think it's a big reason why we are becoming so successful is because there's no longer that place to explore. There's no longer that safe place to be anonymous in a sense and to just kind of try the things that you want to try sexually. So a place like NSFW where, it is a safe, judgment-free place. We try to be inclusive of all people. Like, it's a good place to go and try things. But yeah, it's like the membership varies. Like, we have an all-female event coming up, which is Femdom, in which we're training women to be,
Shut your mouth.
Yeah. Look, that's what she is.
Look, I don't want to have to go through no process, okay?
Actually, you sub though.
Yeah,
no, but you want to learn how to
learn.
You have to be switched. I mean,
because if you're not switchy, it's getting boring. I mean, the dude that's subbing the shit on me. I'm talking about slaps to the face, spit on me. He's like, I mean, are we ever gonna?
Yeah, unless he's like a really good dom and like there's some other stuff to add on there. But it's good to switch. It's good to like be versatile.
Plus, like exploring that. Speaking of exploring, let's take a break and get back to that a little more of Talkspace info. Hey guys, today's show is sponsored by Talkspace, the only online therapy company that lets you message a licensed therapist from anywhere, anytime. By the way, anytime I used Talkspace in the past, and I remember being really high as fuck at 3 a.m. at some party, and I went right in my email, and I was like, thank God she on the fucking West Coast, because bitch, I got some shit to say. They are there for you. That means you can improve your mental health even if you've got trouble making time for it in the past. Can't imagine fitting anything else to your life? Well, with Talkspace, it's as easy as sending them a message. Get something off your chest whenever you need to. It feels like a text message. It's an amazing application to use. You could talk everyday challenges about work or home or these ain't shit ass motherfuckers or just life, There are no extra commutes, no leaving the office, no judgments. Do it from the comfort right of your own house. Remember, therapy isn't just about venting your innermost thoughts or digging into childhood memories. It's about practical and everyday strategies for stress management and living a happier life. Having a therapist simply provides you with a designated person for you to talk to who's trained to listen and helps you make positive changes. Somebody like Alex, you know what I mean, that intercepts between me and Mandy. That's what your therapist gonna do. They gonna intercept in your bullshit. The Talkspace platform has over 2,000 licensed therapists who are experienced in addressing life challenges we all face. When I used Talkspace, I was able to say whether I wanted a man or a woman, and they can match you with the perfect therapist for the fraction of topics and for the price of traditional therapy. So if you want to get in on this, go to Talkspace.com/decisions. Use the code DECISIONS to get $45 off your first month and show your support for this show. Since y'all love this shit so much, go get you a therapist. That's Decisions at Talkspace.com/decisions.
All right, let's get back to the show. Okay.
So if you guys haven't noticed, the horrible decision for the week is sex club shit.
Pretty much.
So, I mean, let's just get into a little more of host shit. So it said celebrities, models, actors. I'm dying to know, what has there ever been like an NDA or like someone that's contacted you and like keep me safe? Like, that's how famous I am. Make sure that, like, this doesn't get out. How do they...
Look at his face. He's like...
The Soho House, you can't take pictures, you get kicked out.
Yeah,
you can't take pictures
of
any
course,
sex club.
you can't take pictures of any sex club, but, like, they really try to protect celebrities. What process have you had to go through for a celebrity?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, it's an interesting crowd of people because it's a lot of people who are successful already and already have kind of, you know, done really cool shit in their lives. People kind of get excited when there's someone who's famous there, but for the most part, I feel like because of everything that we're pushing and everything that we're trying to teach and everything that we're trying to like
they know how
get
to
crowds
act.
Yeah,
different.
They know how to act. Yeah, they know how to
It's
act.
a different crowd. It's not someone who's
Right.
like trying to take a photo.
Can I suck your dick?
Right.
Oh my God, I love Black Panther.
That has happened.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, there's definitely like, yeah, well,
Groupies?
sometimes, you know.
You can't help
it's
it,
kind of
yo.
like an excitement. It's like,
Look,
oh my
we
God.
did
this person's
Charlamagne's
Okay,
show,
real
and we've
quick.
been doing podcasting
Here
a
you
while,
go.
and I
Can
still
you not
was
talk
ready
about how you want to suck
fuck him
Charlamagne
his
dick
wife,
and his
bro.
wife?
I can't stop
She
talking
want
about
to
it.
suck Charlamagne dick and eat his
I didn't
pussy.
say his.
still-
I'm just saying his wife. I have a really big crush
I mean,
on her, and I want
but
to
if you
forward
fuck
him this
the wife, you
information.
gotta have to suck Charlamagne's dick too.
That's fine. If I can get to the wife.
Well, can I ask you, what celebrity would you just be like, oh my God, let me suck your dick? Or
Oh
let
my
me
God.
eat your
Let
pussy?
me Yeah, let's get one on each end.
Oh, Donald Glover. Fuck.
Woo!
Really?
Yo.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I
And he's a
watch
former Jehovah
Atlanta and
Witness.
I just can't.
He's a former Jehovah Witness. So I'm
he
just like,
really?
yeah, I'm just like, I
We
love
both
you.
went to the dark side. All right, what's the woman that you'd want?
Woman that I'd want. Jennifer Lawrence, but it's like kind of lame.
Really?
I don't think like
No, it's her attitude.
That's
it's her. It's the attitude. Yeah,
that's
it's like
from
just like
that's
kind of
from
like.
that's from
That's
the movie
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think
kinda
it's just
lit.
like her attitude's pretty cool.
She
just seems like a chill
She seems like a
person.
good fuck.
I mean,
And-
and Jennifer Lopez, obviously, but that's
J-Lo.
only because like
Jenny from
you know,
the Block.
childhood dreams.
Hold on, I want to know, Alex, real quick, who you want to fuck? Go ahead, share with us.
I'm one with the Lord right now.
Oh, I
guess-
cannot with you. And what about you, Weezy?
So
Charlamagne.
I'm gonna be
Charlotte, right? Charlamagne.
No. I don't want to fuck Charlamagne that bad, just his wife. But after Black Panther, M'Baku, I don't know his real name, but
Oh, the one that's like the
Woo!
gorilla dude. Oh yeah.
and bitch, I watched Infinity War, and I was gonna say with G is my little white man, and I was like, "Am I
Oh my God.
when he got on the screen, I jumped a little bit. I was like, "Oh, I love the movie." And as far as women, Priyanka Chopra right now is like,
You do like her. You post her a lot.
I love that mouth, bro.
Let me,
She's
let me
alright.
think
She's
who
nice.
I'm really weird. So I have this thing right now, and I don't know why I want him so bad because he's not my height requirement, but he's like the creative spirit that I like right now. I really like Ty Dolla $ign. He could get the pussy
He's cute.
raw. Oh my God. And he's like
He can
older
get
than
the
I
pussy
like.
raw. We didn't need that.
I mean,
fucking
I'm
adjective
just
in there,
saying he
bitch.
can get it raw. And then as far as the girl who I would fuck right now, I don't want to be typical and say fucking Rihanna, but of course Rihanna
Oh,
can.
yeah,
I mean,
Rihanna.
Like,
Rihanna's
I know, I was
Rihanna.
trying to
it's
talk
just
about
Oh wait, I
fucking
want to go
Rihanna.
back. I'll take mine back. I'm gonna go with Rihanna.
J-Lo, you want to go with Rihanna?
Actually, no, I pick Rihanna over J-Lo too.
I
Yeah.
would pick Rihanna over J-Lo.
Yeah.
J-Lo probably got some tricks, but she might be too tired.
Plus, she
You
has
know how
really
fine
good
she is.
weed.
She ain't
You
got-
know Rihanna has good
You
weed.
know her weed is good.
I mean,
Oh,
J-Lo does too, but like.
Speaking
I
of
feel
weed,
like
I
Rihanna's
know
weed
you
is,
said
like,
you-
Did
next
you see
level.
her bracelet at Coachella?
Oh, this flask.
What's a flask?
I know you wanted it. I know you
Bitch
did.
is lit.
Actually, I'm lying. You don't even drink liquor in real life.
Bitch, but I mean,
You do
when
other
I'm doing
alternatives.
content, I'm ready for it all.
There's other alternatives. So speaking of alternatives, you said you don't allow.
Bro, why are we? Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait,
I do have
no,
a couple
wait,
that I want you guys to Google because I masturbate to them a lot. Joel Kinnaman and his wife Chloe from. Did you guys watch Altered Carbon?
No, I
No,
haven't seen
and
it.
they're not
Oh,
even
yes,
that
yes,
hot.
yes. But
I don't know why you keep talking about them. They are
Yeah.
not good looking.
No, they're tatted up and both tall.
No,
and,
bro.
like,
I would
Euro.
do Jason Momoa way before. Hello, thank you. We on,
Oh
we're on
yeah,
the same page.
and
bro.
Lisa. Okay.
Yeah,
we're gonna go after
Hello.
it together.
Hello. So I wanted to ask you. So you said that there's no liquor involved. Is this a place where maybe they can smoke weed?
Smoking weed is fine. I mean, like
Okay.
I smoke so much weed. I don't like. There's no way of hosting an event without me smoking weed. So
Okay.
yeah, weed is perfectly fine. And like a lot of our focus again is on wellness. It's a focus
Okay.
on achieving better orgasms. It's a focus on achieving better experiences through sex, better connected sex, as well as exploring the BDSM side without looking like someone who's desperate around 50 Shades of Grey.
Right.
But on the cannabis side, it's very important to explore cannabis as a medicine and understand what cannabis does in terms of, just making you feel better and dealing with pain and dealing with a lot of things. So we strongly encourage cannabis and just the exploration of like really natural types of things that can help.
Now, I want to get into like some kinky shit, like some things. that
Actually,
people...
my next question
All
was
right.
just
let's get nasty
with
now.
the
What can we expect?
the black men and black women that are going to listen to this. I already know a common fetish for black men that come into sex clubs is cuckolding. It's what we see in porn. Oh, your BBC shit like that. So it made me think of that.
Can you break it down a little bit for our
so
listeners?
cuckolding is
cuckolding
just basically someone watching and not being able to fuck.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
basically the
Right.
man is not able to do anything while his
Right.
wife is getting satisfied better
Yes.
by someone else.
And it's a lot of shit talking like, oh my God, he's fucking me so good. You wish you could
Well,
do
Yeah,
that.
and
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of times it is a black man with a white
Dude,
couple.
I cannot find cuckolding
It is.
if it's not a black
No,
man.
it
It's
has to
ridiculous.
be. So I went to Jamaica. I went to hedonism, and for you guys who may be looking for a resort to where you can have open sex or free sex or be nude, hedonism in Jamaica allows you to kind of be free and be open and talk to other couples and exchange, and it's a lot of fun.
They ready to get all them niggas that
But
working at
that's
the bar.
literally that's what happened. So it was the piano night where they were doing a bar, and the guy was doing these, piano songs, and so there was a white couple.
Piano song.
What do you call it? Piano song?
Billy
I don't
Joel,
know. It was like ad-libbing. I don't know why you were playing the piano.
Alicia?
And so there was a couple there, and she had condoms in her pouch. And so the guy playing the piano tried to make a joke and was like, oh, well, these are kind of small. And the husband was like, oh, well, those aren't for me anyways. Like, I don't use them. And so the couple was openly explaining how I brought her here and hopefully we find, like, she wants a black man. And said it, and that's why they came to Jamaica specifically. So, I mean, what? You're laughing.
They've got the best
but I
weed.
think
They've
it
got to
happened.
have good dick.
I mean, it's fucking Jamaica.
Come on. Look at them.
And so, how often is this something that happens at NSFW with the cuckolding?
Does it happen with black men there, though?
Yeah.
Like, do you find that the single black men have been, like, sought after by couples?
I think because we need more of them, yes, like to a degree.
Okay,
like,
so if you black and listening, they need you.
Please,
You're...
Look,
got one.
you're
How would you
in
feel about
the
that,
name of
Alex?
the Jesus.
How would you feel about sleeping with someone's wife? Like,
I mean, if I'm doing a good service,
Yeah, you're definitely doing God's
but no,
work.
a lot of people don't like it. Like, how would you feel about fucking someone's wife because it gets them off? How do
And
you feel
because
about
you're
that?
black. Because I know we talk
Are you
about that
Muslim?
part a lot.
I think the only thing I would be weirded out by is the husband right there the whole time. But I mean,
but that's really the part.
The
of it.
part that's the point of
I
it.
mean, well,
A lot of times, yeah. A lot of times the husband wants a little bit too.
Yeah, I was about to say, I want to be real nasty. Like, so would
Like,
you
that's-
would
yeah,
you let the
being
wife
honest.
make her husband suck your dick?
wait, what?
Because that,
Okay.
that
I don't want to take it that extreme because
No,
I knew
but
you
it
were going to say
happens.
that. Here,
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
ask-
no.
Here's
It
a real
happens, though.
scenario. It does happen.
it happens.
Here, what about this? Super fine wife, and she's like, I want you to come in my mouth, but my husband does want to kiss me after. Are you cool with that? Like, are you going to be cool with, like, them cum swapping?
I
His
mean, I
cum
could close
or
my
what?
eyes. Yeah, cool. I don't give a fuck what
This
they do
nigga say
after.
close
All
your
right.
eyes.
Close my ass. I don't want to watch
You
it.
could close your eyes.
What is the most
and
common
it'll be a
fetish,
switch
though,
of
that you're
mouths,
finding
Yo,
you
out
know?
chill
that you're
out.
seeing? Like, what's a common thing that you're seeing?
I mean, we get a lot of requests for a class that we do on squirting. That's really
The best
popular.
feeling in the world.
Like just simple things is really popular. Impact play is really good.
What is
Impact Play?
So Impact Play is a course that we do that's focused on all the different toys you can use for spanking, paddles, whips, flogs, stuff like that.
We had an episode where
Yeah.
a guy came on and explained the flogging and just the
I
different
like
techniques.
flogging on
of
my boots.
Exactly,
but I
yeah.
feel
So
like
it's
not
it's
too-
education around that. Where on the body you can do that. How do you work up to it?
Yes.
A lot of people think of that and just like go straight to like the hardest.
whipping. Yeah, no.
They don't communicate things. They don't realize that it's a build-up.
Right.
And they don't play with that build-up. So that one's pretty popular. This class sucks, which is our oral sex class, is really popular.
I was like, why is he talking
This
shit
class
about
sucks, right? So I have a question. So one of a guy that I used to talk to, and I won't say his name because y'all all know, because I done mentioned him on the thing before. Anyways, right? I'm trying to. Anyways,
Look at previous episodes.
One of them has been to sex clubs before and actually grew interested in the transgenders that were there. So I wanted to know if you have many transgender women, men at your NSFW and how they
That's a great
play
question.
in. Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah,
treatment.
A lot of
T-girl
and
thing,
if there's any issue with that, because I know some people may still feel uncomfortable, but how are they welcomed into NSFW?
I mean, we do have transsexual members.
Okay.
You know, I think for the most part, like, people don't realize that they are until, like, you know.
So this really is the good shit.
Don't shut the fuck up.
They're
they can't tell.
We have had a
they're
trans
really
guy, and
attractive.
honestly, we had a trans guy. I had watched so many videos of him. I had no idea, dude.
I ain't even gonna hold you.
Yeah.
I still didn't talking to him the whole time. I was staring like
Shout
nigga lying.
out to him and his girlfriend because honey, I passed them on Tinder. They looking.
really.
Yeah, they were on Tinder. I took a screenshot. I'll
Yeah,
send
but
it to
that's
you.
the thing
Super
though.
cool.
Like there are very like passable like.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
think
people
there's a lot
don't think so.
of that. And again, it's just, like, as long as you kind of fit the criteria, like, attraction is important, and we are looking for people who are, you know, attractive. Like, you want to have sex with people who are attractive. I think about it in terms of, like, I'm kind of sharing my bed, and, like, who would I technically want in my bed?
Yeah.
And, like, trying to, you know, respect that. A lot of people get pissed off about that, like, oh, you hate people, but it's just,
Yes.
it's like, this is a
When
very
I
sexual
watched
situation.
a show
you
on
know?
Showtime called Polyamory. Do you remember
Yeah,
that show?
yeah.
Loved that show, and it actually helped me realize that I can stop being jealous and be more open. But one of the
Bitch,
things
you still jealous as
Shut
hell.
up.
Yeah, you do.
Right,
Jealousy.
me and Alex like
You
I don't get what the big deal is. Like, of course you're gonna have to deal
Yeah,
with
you
my
have to deal
jealousy.
with
I guess
jealousy.
she's working with
That's
her
a
jealousy
part
that's
of
still
fucking open
there.
relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Look, people look, I'm not no fucking faking bitch on my jealousy. With Tayomi over here talking about she don't get jealous and blah blah blah. I don't care what he does. Like, no, of course I get emotional and shit like that, but I do want this, so I'm learning to work through it. Now I was very shocked when I read about Threads, where people were like, "Oh, you guys only showed hot people at these parties. What about us? Blah blah blah." And
Wait,
seriously,
what about us?
on polyamory?
That's messed up.
Fuck them ugly people.
I did not say that.
Okay, so,
I'm not.
So real quick, right? What is attractive?
I want to know.
What
I
is
got
attractive?
prime pussy and prime. I don't care how big or small it is, how long the whatever. I just want a nice.
But
face
wait,
to
what's
fuck.
what's attractive and what's not? Because I'm not gonna lie, you just sat here and said that one of your celebrity crushes is Donald Glover. He to me is not very attractive.
Really?
Seriously.
Hold on. You'd be willing to say that he's ugly, that he's not attractive? He might not be your cup of tea. Hold on.
We're not saying
Okay,
top
hold on,
10.
hold on. Okay, so
There
how
has
do
to
we
be a
judge?
spectrum.
That's what I'm asking.
Okay,
Where's
so
the
here, for
spectrum?
example.
And also,
Where's
that's
the
the other thing.
spectrum? Okay, let's
He doesn't
compare.
have to be attractive to you for you to know that man is attractive.
I get
right?
that. Okay, so where in the spectrum do you reach ugly, you not accepted? That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
Yeah, well, I think that's
what-
the thing. It's like everyone always talks about like the attraction level or like they have to be rich, and it's like a lot of words that are used. But when you're going through the process of like seeing people, you have their profile questions, you have more information about them. You're seeing they provide their Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram account. You can find them online.
okay.
So a lot of it is, you know, looking through those profiles and saying like, well, what type of life does this person have? If they're not the most attractive person, then it's like, well, is their life interesting? Is their life adventures interesting? Are they
Oh,
traveling
okay.
a lot?
It's like
do they
Someone
have
Else.
do they have an interest? Yeah, do they have an interesting
They
career?
make you put
Are
a
they a
headshot.
creative individual who like is creating great things? Like we look at it differently
that makes
because
sense.
for us it's more about, you know, the people that you'd want to have a conversation with and actually have a friendship with before you're thinking about the people that you want to fuck.
Very good point.
Yeah,
I mean,
could
that's
be
how we
that.
all
I
end up
think
fucking
so.
someone that's not that cute.
I was about to say,
That's what I'm
fuck
saying.
that.
Yeah.
They got money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why.
It's like
Okay, I mean, I guess we
attraction,
can keep
like
talking.
what I see as attractive is not what other people see as attractive. There's women out there who are beautiful, but they see attraction as like, is he funny? Is he interesting?
Yeah.
Is he motivated? Is he like doing shit in his life? And that's attractive.
You know what I wanted to ask you?
It's not
Do
like
you...
always the physical beauty side of it. There's other things that we consider, and that's why we have the council do it, because everyone kind of like
How many people?
looks for it. We have right now there's like 5 to 6 people on the council.
Cool.
And a lot of times members who have been there for a while are the ones who refer new people.
Like founding members.
Yeah, it's like they've been there for a while, so they're like, oh, they just keep bringing people in.
Now,
Okay.
now that you live with your boyfriend in the West Village, do
Yeah.
you and your boyfriend participate at your parties? Do you participate?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
How the fuck else did I start this shit?
I was like, it would be really unfun if like I didn't.
No, but you never know. Like,
yeah,
that's-
no.
I mean,
and
I think for me, it's like I'm trying to learn stuff about sex too. Like we've done over 100 events now.
I'm trying to add up the body
Classes,
count.
workshops.
Yeah.
body count.
Have you had some male? I know you're bi. Is your boyfriend bi?
Yeah.
So you've had some male, female threesomes?
We had a girlfriend for a while.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
new show.
Well, speaking of bisexual men, we actually had a home mail submission.
Well,
I want to bring this up because, girl,
Well, wait. One
because we
second.
gonna talk. Look,
Wait, there's one important piece to this that we're forgetting, and it's that you're an ex-Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, yeah.
well, we could jump around because we were already talking about bisexuality,
But before
and
we
then we
jump
can
into
go
home
back
mail,
into
because we have a
that.
religious question, I just want to ask.
I'm just saying, we were just talking about bisexuality. Can we just keep it on bisexuality? Then we'll bring up religion. So we're gonna bring up the home mail.
Okay.
About,
Literally never go back into questions
mean,
after
I'm
home mail.
just saying we
Well,
can
okay.
go right back. Jesus. So
Say his name.
So we got a question from one of our listeners.
Talk space.
He said,
it's time.
"Bitch,
Do y'all do group therapy?
Bitch, you just want to go all listen,
Get on
right? Can we start
Talkspace.
talk
Get
space? We
on
need you right
Talkspace.
now. Let me go ahead and text my therapist. So we have a home mail sent in from a bisexual man with a question. He says that I'm a professional black male in my late 20s. I'm masculine, good looking, in great shape, doing great in my career, and I'm bisexual. My sexuality has caused me anxiety and deep depression in the past. I've felt ashamed, guilty, embarrassed, and even hated myself for having an interest in men. During some of my worst days, I even had suicidal thoughts. The self-hate caused me to have no confidence and low self-esteem, so my sex and dating life was non-existent in my early and mid-20s.
Is this me? I think I submitted it. Wait, this is my submission.
Is this you? That's why I knew you was going to have
Sounds
an
really
answer.
accurate.
One of the worst parts of bisexuality is the loneliness. I've always wanted to meet or know what someone else like me had the same thoughts because I used to feel like I was crazy at times. I would ask myself, why the fuck am I like this? Over the past year, I've done a better job being honest with myself, accepting myself, and loving myself. As a result, my confidence and self-esteem has increased tenfold. My dating and sex life is going great with women, and I'm really starting to enjoy being single in my 20s. The fact that both of y'all are beautiful, black, and Sophia Ratchet, that's what he want to call us?
Sophista
Ratchet. Whatever that means.
Ratchet.
Hey,
That
are
means
open.
like we will classily cuss you the fuck out.
The fact that you women are both open to bisexual men has given me a big boost of confidence. Thank you for being open about and discussing this topic and other kinky, nasty shit on your show. It has really changed my life. So here's his question. I am not out as bisexual because I rather keep it to myself and I don't think it needs to be everyone's business. And I'm not into the gay scene, nor am I interested in really gay men. I like masculine men who don't appear as gay. Me too. I think one of my best friends is interested in men. He's given me a lot of signals in the past that he's interested, like being touchy, holding eye contact, joking about trying new things, quote unquote, when it comes to sex, etc. Sometimes I have doubts because he still completely shuts all of that off, but my gut still tells me he's interested. This sounds like a simple, stupid question, but how the fuck do I bring it up or ask him if he's interested in being open-minded about trying things with a man? And then he says, just keep doing what y'all do. Thanks for the dope content, and thanks for changing my life. So you're the only one that can really answer this. So I'm so glad we got you on here. How does he come about maybe pushing the question to his best friend that he's not sure is interested in men or not?
Bring a girl into it. Like if he is already
Ooh.
having sex with
Oh,
women,
I wouldn't have even thought of that.
Great
it would be more
suggestion.
of like, hey, let's team up.
Give me a high.
Back again. No, but honestly, that would probably be the easiest way. It makes the other guy comfortable. It doesn't feel like a gay situation necessarily, or the mental blocks aren't there as much. This man probably hasn't explored too much with men before. He's probably going to be more comfortable in a situation with another woman there as well.
Right.
So I would say if he's attractive, like he probably has women that he's having sex with. And I think what's interesting is like when you talk to women about having sex with two men, the option is never really there. So a lot of women get really excited
and a lot
about
of
it.
women want that
Oh,
bisexual male experience. I know I do. That's one of them things.
Like,
I'm like, I want
think
a
that's
good
the
one.
one thing that's like most fetishized about like me and my boyfriend. It's just like it's great. But I think it's like there's also like this desire to find that with a lot of women because the male fantasy of two girls is so overdone.
So like no, I don't want
And
to
also,
threesome
it's like
with
you
your
only
ass.
have one dick. Like, what's the point? Like, you gotta like.
Got
There's some holes. Yeah, so I think that would be his best approach is just
Okay.
like talk to a female that he's hooking up with, see if she's interested in the fantasy.
That's
Talk
I
to
really
his
like
friend,
that
be
because
like,
I was gonna go
"Hey,
to
let's
my
go."
gay porn and be like, like I watch a lot of gay porn where they're both supposed to be straight men and they'd like get high off playing cards and they're just drunk and then they start feeling on each other. So I don't know if that really works
Come
in
on,
real life, but it
storyline.
does. What?
I mean, it does. That
In
does
gay
work
porn,
in
they're
real
great.
life.
So that works in real life.
Yeah,
So maybe
exactly.
play
You know
like
you beat me in a 2K, so
I'm just saying, like maybe
you
make
come
a
get this ass
bet.
pussy.
This bussy is waiting for you, boo. Okay, so I guess what we're gonna do now is we're gonna revert, cause back to Weezy's conversation. So we're gonna go back a little bit because in the article of the Daily Mail, one thing that stuck out to us, and one thing that was actually just mentioned to us on Patreon, someone wanted us to do an episode about sex and religion.
Yeah.
Now, neither of us are very religious,
Yeah.
but when we read this Daily Mail
like,
article,
mind
it
you,
went
we
into
see a lot
that.
of you guys stuff. We just had a disabled guy asked us to do episode, and I asked him like, "Can you come on? Because I'm not about to speak for people that are disabled
Right.
Yeah.
or religious. It's not right."
Right.
So here's the questions that I have. What broke you from that religious life?
I think,
Yeah.
being bisexual, like I knew at an early age, around 12, I knew I was attracted to, both men and women. I think one of my first sexual experiences was with a male friend of mine,
Oh.
really early on. And then later on with a woman. And, I just kind of always had that in me. And I think, being in a very strict, traditionally Christian religion, homosexuality is not okay. Bisexuality.
And Latinos are very religious.
It doesn't,
Yeah.
it's
They go
not
hand, they go
okay.
hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Can
It's
I
like
ask,
very strict.
Can I ask, and I don't want the listeners to think it's an ignorant question. Jehovah's Witness. I just know that y'all knock on doors. What? I mean, I'm sorry. What is that
Charlamagne
religion?
grew up Jehovah's
What?
Witness.
I know, my mom just said don't answer the door. So what? What
Sounds about right.
is the Jehovah's Witness like religion? Is it y'all believe in God or y'all don't?
Yeah,
y'all
no,
don't
no, of
celebrate
course.
Spread the
birthdays
word,
and stuff.
and
Like,
that's
how does
part
that
of the
work?
religion.
Shut up, Alex.
I mean, it
This
tries
is
to
something
be.
you gotta just Google. You shouldn't even.
No,
I
I
can't
mean,
ask
I can
him
go
because
through really
other
quick.
people might have the same
Yeah,
question.
it's like I can go through pretty quick. I mean, it's a very strict Christian religion. They have the New and the Old Testament. There's a lot of study of the Bible in it. We would go to church 3 times a week, about 2 hours each time, plus additional study.
I'm tired. I can't fuck 3 times a week for 2.5 hours. each
Yeah,
time.
do about like 40 hours of witnessing per month. So you're out there kind of teaching. You're constantly studying other religions to understand how to, in a sense, break them down and like show people like why that's wrong or why it's incorrect. They believe that it's
Their
their
religion.
job. Yeah, so like, Hinduism, I can point out, here are the things that are
Yes.
off about that, or Buddhist or anything else like that. Like, you study religions so
I
much.
didn't know that. I just
So
thought they
it's
were
like-
recruiters.
Yeah.
No,
Right?
it's
That's
like
what I
they're-
I think that it was
too.
to convince you that yours was wrong.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Have
it's
you
a
ever
conversion.
turned
It's like,
somebody while knocking on the door?
yeah, I
Knocking
have.
on the
I've
door.
I've
Can we
had,
stop
yeah.
saying knocking on the door?
No, that's what we
Alex,
did.
Alex.
Knocking on the doors.
Because we joke about the
No,
knocking
it's
on the door.
true.
Does it work?
It does. I mean, a lot of people out there, and they're sad. They're misguided. They don't really, have a sense of happiness in their life. And I think the religion brings a sense of community that isn't really available
It does.
elsewhere.
It gives you something to hope for.
And it's a very diverse group of individuals. It's a global organization. You can fly anywhere in the world. You can stay with other witnesses. You feel safe within it. And, it's not a religion with a lot of controversy within it. The people there try to be the best people that they can be. A lot of that requires them to disconnect from everything else, and a lot of the other people out there are seen as worldly, or people that you don't associate with. So
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 35.
When
Okay.
did you? Damn.
Right.
You know,
You
Black,
did.
Latino, and Asian don't crack. Well,
I wanted to ask you.
I
real
wanted
quick.
to ask you how old you were when you realized that you may need to leave this life alone.
I think when Jurassic Park came out, like I was
Not
like,
Jurassic.
dinosaurs are real, and they don't believe that dinosaurs are real. So,
What?
well, most Christians don't believe dinosaurs are real. Most Christians believe the Earth has only been around for 6,000 years.
Have you ever watched Jesus Camp?
No.
It's a documentary on Netflix where these little kids were crying. They were like, Harry Potter is gonna be as bad as the devil. And he's like, oh.
Yeah.
They were feeling
I was
so
allowed to
terrible.
read Harry Potter as a
So
kid.
I also.
I mean,
wanted to
it's
know-
a lot of it's like any like evangelicals, but not.
Culty.
Yeah, I mean, most religions are though.
What is the outlook on sex and premarital sex and
No masturbation. You can't even touch
no
yourself.
Shout out to Masturbation Month and no.
Yeah, it's National Masturbation Month.
So everybody play with
Go
their
out,
clit.
masturbate.
Oh, by the way, this is the only
masturbationmonth.com,
guest
masturbation
besides
month.
Lethal
Yeah.
Lips brought us cigars.
Oh yeah, I brought emoji baiters.
We
They're,
got
I don't know if you guys
emoji
can see
baiters,
this.
guys.
yeah,
Hold
they're
on, we have to show-
vibrating.
I just want you guys to see this.
And I just, of course, she got the one that's closest to pink because she be fucking pink.
No, bitch, this is red. This is hot pussy
What?
shit.
Well, I mean,
Remember,
it's close
remember
to
the hot
pink,
pussy virus for HPV?
and I got the eggplant one because this is like purple dick. Even though mine be paper bag brown type.
I'll
Purple
send
dick.
you some bananas. I should have gotten the banana ones.
Oh, come on.
Hello. Okay. So there was masturbation was looked down upon for in your religion.
Yeah, I mean, no
What
sex
else
before
was-
marriage. Like, if you're dating someone, you have to have a chaperone with you. You try to.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
I was a chaperone for a couple for a number of times where I'd have to be. I was like a little kid. They bought me video games so I could like chill there in the house with them. And these are grown.
What is it to make sure they're not
adults.
gonna fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Joking.
No, it's serious. I mean, it's no sex before marriage. So for my parents and for a lot of my family, it's a very strict religion. It's you don't watch rated R movies or PG-13 movies. Really, like you're
I'm
constantly
getting
That
anxiety.
sounds
You know,
like
a little bit.
terrible.
and then being bisexual and that, and growing up.
How long did you feel guilty? How long did you?
The guilt? I mean, I think until I was 30.
Whoa.
I mean,
I have
to a
a-
degree, I lived my life, and once I left, I kind of like did my own thing and explored my own stuff. But
I have a question.
I think
that
until
someone
I
sent in
finally-
for
I
you
came out,
regarding
really.
religion. It's actually from Jeeves, and he said, "What is it like to re-examine what you thought was wrong for so long? How do you feel about it now?"
Sound like some smart people ask questions. I have a
Smart
question
people
from
watch this
Jeeves,
show.
and you're not really gonna understand the question, but
No,
yeah,
but like
can we
when
get
you
an
look
answer,
at it
please?
now, like do you regret being guilty for so long? Like, I mean, are you still into religion? Like when you think about it now, like
I mean, I still consider myself a Christian. I really do follow two things that Jesus taught, and I really look at what Jesus specifically came here on earth to do, which was to abolish the Mosaic law, get rid of all these excessive laws on stuff that wasn't needed. And he gave two principles: love God, love your neighbor. That's it. And if you do those two things, that's how you get into whatever happens next, or that's how you be a good person, really. So in loving God, it's taking care of the earth, it's taking the environment, taking care of the animals, making sure that you're not destroying the earth that he gave you, and appreciating what he gave you, which means exploring the earth and exploring the experiences within it.
this is the most woke religious response I've ever heard.
Right.
I'm
No,
gonna be
I
honest
get
with you,
that.
I think religion is a cult that has oppressed. Specifically, I like to speak in terms of people of color. After watching Birth of a Nation, it woke me up, and I started reading
Yeah.
and researching, and it's true, which is why we ain't gonna talk about Kanye. But it was such a
Ah.
talk about
Listen, no,
mental.
we're not
My
gonna get
heart
that.
is broken.
I know we're not gonna get
My
into
heart
the
is
Kanye
so
song.
But you know,
broken.
you're talking about mental enslavement, and it's just like, but religion has done that to people in
Yeah.
some way
for
too,
centuries,
making
yeah.
you feel like you couldn't act on those things. Were you ever, when you first had sex, like, did you ever like take showers after? Was there something? You
Oh
did?
God, I still take showers after.
No, like
Right, bitch? We don't want no power
Sex
down
and the
there.
City, there's a very
Yeah.
notable episode where Miranda fucks this guy.
Right, and then he goes and,
he
has
keeps
sex right
washing,
after.
and she's like,
Yeah.
"Why don't you just lay with me for a second?" He's like, "No, I got to. This is a sin."
No.
Is that something that you used to do, or something you'd have to do?
I mean,
The
it's not
husbands
something I
actually would
do.
do
It's
that.
more, yeah.
no, but
I mean,
Your
I
husband,
just
you
like
have to
being
go
clean.
something
It's not a religious thing for me. I just like, I want to get
well,
some
we hope
juices off
we
me.
hope the people that up in there is clean.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
crazy because I know we try not to talk too much about religion, and I've mentioned it before as well. Like, so I grew up going to missionary every fucking Wednesday. I went to church.
When she said missionary, I was like, "Come
No,
on."
bitch, not missionary. Like, you see what I'm talking about? No, but it's so funny because like Weezy, once I got back into school and really started learning more about African American history and seeing that a lot of the slave masters were Christian, and just seeing the hypocrisy that followed through centuries and centuries and hundreds of years of how they mistreated people of color and how it really went against everything that was in this Bible that they lived by, I just decided, that I was going to have faith, but not really be a part of a specific religion.
Yeah, and I think when you look at religions, you have to look at them as businesses that don't pay taxes. Like, there's people on top who are making most of the money. They're getting donations. These are billion-dollar companies.
Yeah. Right.
Scientology is almost already over $1 billion in terms of properties and stuff that they own. And I think that's what people fail to see. They don't realize like how powerful these groups are, and they're influencing people's decisions in their lives. A lot of times those decisions are impacting LGBTs. A lot of those times those decisions are affecting people of color. Like those religious beliefs, even though they're based around this positivity and this goodness, it really isn't following through on what was actually taught.
Right.
Which is why there's so many different versions of Christianity and stuff like that.
I mean, I be feeling guilty when I be praying that he has a big dick. I'm not allowed to really pray for big dick, right? I can't pray that he lasts long.
It depends on which God you pray to.
I thank God when they pull the dick out.
Thank you.
I believe in God. Bitch, I be thanking God over dicks all the time. So I want to...
I don't
y'all
know
motherfuckers are going to hell.
Both
of y'all motherfuckers are going to hell.
There is no hell.
That latex white girl you fuck.
There's literally no hell. Honestly, like if you look in the Bible, the word that they use for hell is actually the Hebrew word for grave. And people changed it to hell to convince you to be afraid of a place that doesn't exist. And there's no hell ever talked about in the Bible.
Come on.
It's just a complete change.
Yeah.
It's So like, don't be afraid of hell. And besides, if hell is real and you can feel pain in the afterlife, then heaven's gonna be cold as fuck. So like,
that's right.
You're gonna die either way.
Damn, but we don't even like the winter here in New York, so that doesn't even sound like fun.
Why it's hot?
Heaven is definitely LA weather, bro. Heaven definitely feels like LA.
I brought up the religion stuff because there was a question. Actually, if you're listening to this, I screenshotted a picture of you to some very close friends of mine, you and your girlfriend, when I read your email, because that shit really hurt my soul. And I really want you to help answer this, and it's like perfect time. So this is them, very attractive couple.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't trying to pass your pussy to him?
Go fuck it. Well, I can't, and you'll find out why.
Oh.
Hello, Mandy and Weezy. I recently started listening to your podcast about 3 months ago. I think it's dope, and I've been learning a lot from you both. I can't put it into action at home because I'm in a relationship with a virgin. I'm 29, she's 26, and we live together, but we do not have intercourse. Here's the backstory. We've been together for 3 years, and I can't lie, this shit is tough. Don't get me wrong. We've did oral maybe a strong 3 times.
In 3 years?
In that time frame. And the last time, I believe, was September of 2017. Oh. LOL. I'm far from a virgin, and I have a lot of sexual experience, but whenever I try to be sexual with her, I'm immediately shut down, and she tells me no. We agreed to wait until marriage. But laying next to her every night and not being able to wake up and eat her pussy really sucks. No, I haven't cheated. I believe him, too. But I find myself having to masturbate 2 or 3 times a day. This shit made me so sad. Listen to this. How can I at least get her to make out with me? It's almost like she's too
Don't
tired.
laugh, Alex.
Sorry.
This is a serious matter, goddammit.
It's only funny because I can't believe it. I think I laughed like as a reaction too. No, I haven't. Where am I at? Sorry. How can I get her to at least make out with me? It's almost like she's too tired to do anything. Granted, she's a speech pathologist, and I'm an accountant in grad school.
Accountant. Well, if you want a girlfriend, I'll suck your dick.
Side note, Mandy, I definitely...
I'm just saying, I know you finna have some money coming. 2 CPAs? Bitch, drop her. Break up with her. No, I'm just playing. Okay, go ahead.
Mandy, I definitely feel your pain in prepping for this exam, in parentheses. Now, I'm always busy, and I still allocate time for her, but it's like I'm being shut out, and maybe she's not attracted to me. What advice do you have for me to at least please her? I think I'm a decent-looking guy, but I'm trying to understand what's going on. Please keep me anonymous. I showed you his picture because I wanted to make sure he was cute.
And he was.
And so is she's beautiful.
So she's a virgin because of her religion?
It must be.
So
I would
that's
assume.
how I felt about the waiting until marriage thing. So when I screenshotted the email to my friends, all of them wrote me back and said, break up with her. Jeeves, I sent it to, said to me that he's like, she's not going to fuck you.
Let's hear some smart shit. Go ahead.
No, he's like, I don't think she's going to fuck him when they are married. And I agree, because if you won't make out even, and you've already got your pussy ate, it seems like you'd be a little more tempted. You start feeling it more and getting closer to the edge. I'm sorry, I didn't want to.
Well, something else that I don't know if maybe she just hasn't been open to discussing this. She may have experienced sexual trauma.
Ooh,
And so there could be something there keeping her
Let's guess
from
that's not on the table.
I mean,
I think
I'm
it
saying
sounds
that
more
it could.
religious. It sounds
I
like
think it's more
it
religious.
sounds like
It
someone
could have
who's
been that, but
There could be.
I feel like
can
he
I
might
even
have
waited.
make out, bro? I know virgins that at least do anal sex.
he said, "How can I
But-
get her to make out with me?" That shit broke.
But honestly, like
me
even
up.
within, again, growing up in a religion that was very strict, like you weren't allowed to make out either. So like,
Ooh.
it's very much like that can lead to sex. And I mean, she's waited this long, and I think like if he really does care about this person and he really does want to be with her,
You
and
need to push the wedding up.
he's already waited for so long. Yeah, I know.
That's what the fuck you need
Like,
to do. Walk her
just-
down the aisle already
Yeah,
so you can get some
just
pussy.
go to the court and get that done. Like you don't need to do the reception and the wedding and shit. Just like
You know
you're
what?
legal.
I'm gonna let you get
It's
this
a-
ring. I'm gonna let you finish, but we gonna sign this moment.
Yeah, it's like
Now,
no,
do
we'll
you
do the
think-
wedding later, but you're signing this now.
For not kissing or any affection, though, do you think that she's gonna end up doing this at a later point?
I think it's
And why
gonna
do
be.
you think 5 people in a group chat said there's no way? 3 of which used to be in a very religious.
Yeah, she has a
kind of
culty
thing.
Look, I mean, I think it really depends on how much he cares about her and how he wants to make it work. I think will be most likely sexual. Like when they get married, I think they're gonna have a lot of issues with their sex lives and figuring out the right balance of things. But it's not rare for people to wait until marriage. I mean, there are people out there who do that.
Still?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
Weird.
there's so, I mean, like the amount of people who
I think that-
Millennials?
So
We
the
do
thing
that?
that I
Yes.
don't really know
Oh,
about that, I've heard about
like,
that.
I've known a lot of people who like have been,
But I wasn't
still
sure about the
virgins and they're
kissing.
40.
That's one thing. Like, if there's no affection going on, which I didn't really think, to your point, you said making out does lead to sex. That's true. If you kiss me, I'm a suck your dick.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like so.
I hear a lot.
You
I'm
But I'm
Oh.
shocked that they're like sleeping in the same bed together. They live together.
Right.
Like those are like no
For
nos.
3 years?
Those are like big no nos. So I don't know like how she's not doing the other stuff, but she's okay with someone living and being in her bed.
Hypocrite.
and
Goddamn
stuff like that.
religion. I told you they
It's
all
just- it's
hypocrites.
a very-
Ooh, this is a new perspective I didn't think about. That's some shit, though. You can live in this house with
Yeah.
me, and we can be shacked up.
That's
you
what I'm
can't-
saying. So you're going
Although
against
when I was dating
some-
dating my wife, like I was married before, and we ended up moving in together before we got married. Like my parents came over, and I remember being like, "Oh yeah, that's the bed I sleep in. That's the bed she sleeps in."
lies.
My parents thought I was a virgin up until the day I was married.
That's
Wow.
cute.
What the fuck do they think about
How
you
did you
being
lie
bi
that
now?
long?
We don't.
My mom
I'm,
knew.
Did all those questions just...
I'm like I'm
My mama
I'm
knew.
assuming they're not talking to me.
I read that you said your parents found out about you owning a sex club through an article.
Well, they kind of knew about it, but I think when it became like an article, like and the article was like former Jehovah's Witness kid, it's more concerned with
They probably
like,
thought it was a wellness center. Like you, the
they
name.
knew. It's just like I think when things become public and like more people are talking about it, it makes the religion look bad potentially. But I feel like because I'm doing this not being a Jehovah's Witness, it's not the same. But they
Yeah.
have to deal with it. Like it's a very close knit group of people. It's like 6 million people around the world, and they really
That's not a lot.
there's like
Mm-mm.
conventions and stuff like that where they're constantly. So it's like everyone kind of seeing this and now probably coming to them and asking them questions. I think they're more concerned with their lives being in front of everyone.
Yeah.
And like, oh, this like I was a really good Jehovah's Witness. Like I was like,
New York? Are you from New York?
yeah, I'm from the Bronx.
Damn. So they're
Yeah.
like in the fucking neighbor. Oh my god.
No, I mean they live upstate now. But I still have family who are Jehovah's Witnesses.
Just
like,
talking about all this
everything else.
religion is making me horny. Did you ever get super horny?
Wait, what?
Just because like you can't fuck, and
Bro,
it's feeling
what
like
is
so
wrong
bad.
with you?
I don't
This
know.
why she
It was
don't go
good.
to
I mean,
church.
that's
She
good
probably would
fantasy.
have been
You
a
should
church
do some
hoe.
fantasy play.
Oh, yeah.
You should definitely do fantasy play and like play with the whole being like hyper religious with a guy who's like trying to corrupt you and like play
Ooh,
with
that
that, and
sounds
you'll
like
have
fun,
so
actually.
much fun.
So I wanted
And
to
you're just like
ask you,
everything's new. It's the first time you've done this type stuff, and you can
Besides
build a
the
whole fantasy
membership,
around that.
you know, I'm not going to ask for a wave. I'm just going to ask for a straightaway in. But here's my question. I want to know about bringing a guest. So, like, let's say that you let me in. Can I bring a guest?
Yeah.
How does bringing a guest work? Do they have to be a member too?
No. You can bring a guest, and you can bring multiple guests. Like some members bring, 2, 3,
Great.
4 partners. Like one just requested to bring 12 girls with him.
Ooh.
He's ridiculous.
Is
so.
his name Anthony?
No.
Sorry, it's a hoe we know. So the reason I asked, I was just thinking while we've been sitting here, we have something called Patreon where we have exclusive episodes for listeners. I kind of want to bring a girlfriend or a guy that I've fucked, and I want to talk about our experience at NSFW and like talk about it together on the table. Like when we walked in, what it was like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be really fun.
That would be cool. So a lot of our listeners, before we go, I want you to let our New York listeners know where they can find more information about the sex club, and if you do travel, in what other cities can they expect to see anything from you?
So for this year, we're doing a pop-up in Miami, probably around Art Basel, and then we're doing an event in LA at some point as well.
I know people are hot. I
Yes.
just gotta be, dude.
And what's the website for our followers to find you, follow you everywhere?
Yeah, the website NS-FW, but if you just search NSFW, we're the top search firm.
Okay, that's awesome. So for any of our listeners who are interested in trying a sex club out, if you are in New York, me and Weezy are going to try to get up in there and give y'all some stories. But if you guys beat us there, please let us know. Send your stories in. Also, if you guys... if you guys don't know all motherfucking ready, we are coming to Atlanta May 19th. So we need y'all motherfucking there. Be in the motherfucking house so y'all can motherfucking see us.
And you know what? If y'all want to fuck Alex in some latex, now that we know he's into that, he'll be in Atlanta with us.
No.
Also, he's looking for a cuckold fantasy.
Yes. Also, all you have to do is buy
his
link.
But he's going to close his eyes.
I love that.
He said he'd do it for free drinks, guys. So just, set that up.
It's not gay if you, I swear, that is how every man, not you, Alex.
I never said I do.
I know, no, I'm not talking about you, but is that not the thing, though? Like, it's not gay if, we don't look at each other in the eye.
Yeah. That happens.
I'm excited to go. And maybe, who knows? Remember how, a few episodes ago I said I wanted to fuck one of the listeners? It might happen there.
Yeah, you keep saying that. And guys, that is Wheezy WTF saying that. So stop coming in my DMs talking about, well, you said you wanted to fuck a fan. That was not me. That was Wheezy WTF.
Bitch,
follow her motherfucking ass. By the way, also, we haven't responded to you. The guy that was willing to pay us $400 for our dirty panties and socks, I gotta wear panties first, but I'm gonna send it to you. Just make sure you got that $400 because I'm about to send you that shit because I need that money.
You didn't talk about that.
I'm thinking about just doing
that. That could be on your Patreon as well.
Yes,
you pay at a certain level, you get the monthly
I'll take that $400. Go ahead. I just gotta get some draws first. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for
cotton, as he asked.
He did ask for cotton.
Really?
Yeah.
Regular cotton, not organic cotton. What is that?
What the
regular?
I think he
what
said
is non-regular cotton?
I think he meant regular cotton, as in the whole way through, not just the part of the panty line, but I think he asked for that because it soaks up the juice.
Yeah,
and it probably smells.
Well, Weezy can go work out and wear her goddamn cotton panties, but we gonna get this $400. Well, it's $800 both of us. So shit.
That pay for that fucking
bitch for the live show. Huh? Well, nah,
it ain't.
That's a good percentage of it.
We can pay Alex. That'll help.
That will help, Alex. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, if you guys want to check out more and read more about the sex club here in New York, check out ns-fw.com. We're
going to have links in our bio, and we're going to try to feature some clips and tag Daniel as well.
And thank you guys so very much. This has been yet another episode